there's a concept called QSQT. Okay. It's not Qamat se Qamat tak.
2 sales 3 sales हो गए, जॉब छोड़ दिया, खुद का स्टार्ट कर लिया.
One person cannot do anything. It's always a team of people. There are 3 pillars of business.
If you have your own house, तो ही successful हो आप.
Real estate buying is an emotional buying.
What is the reason कि एक डेवलपर का प्रोजेक्ट डिले होता है?
लोग आते हैं, देखते हैं स्मशान भूमि है, घर नहीं खरीदते.
So is this a real problem in the market?
If you are not able to buy a property, stay on rent.
So first of all, welcome to TRPS sir, Trending Real Estate Properties Show. And बहुत टाइम से सर इच्छा था आपके साथ एक पॉडकास्ट शूट करने का, आपके साथ एक कन्वर्सेशन करने का, बिकॉज इट्स लाइक अभी मैं सीख रहा हूँ सर रियल इस्टेट. एंड कहीं ना कहीं हमें कहा जाता है कि कभी भी आपको लाइफ में आगे बढ़ना है तो एक मेंटर या फिर एक गुरु का होना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो कहीं ना कहीं आई सी यू एज माई मेंटर, बिकॉज from 2019 I am following you, and before that also there are some things. हम पॉडकास्ट में इससे रिलेटेड बात करेंगे सर आगे. कुछ चीज़ें हैं जो ऑडियंस को नहीं पता है, जो आपने अचीवमेंट किया है या फिर आपने किसी और कंपनी के लिए कराया है, जो कि अभी तक अनकवर्ड है. लोगों को वो चीज़ नहीं पता है, लोगों को सिर्फ जस्टो दिखता है, इसके अलावा जो चीज़ें हैं वो नहीं पता. तो आई नो डैट, सो दैट्स वाई आई एम वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट फैन ऑफ योर्स. सो लेट्स स्टार्ट दिस पॉडकास्ट सर. Are you comfortable enough?
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
How are you, sir?
I'm awesome.
Okay. And कैसा चल रहा है सर अभी real estate market and everything?
It can be better. It has been going on well for the last 2 months or so. I see a little bit of a reduction in the number of units that are getting sold.
Okay.
And there's a little pressure building in. The prices have gone up significantly.
Yeah.
I can't say there'll be a correction per se, but definitely I don't see a significant growth over the next 2 quarters. Okay. And next quarter is going to be very decisive quarter. Next quarter, January to March, which is normally when most of the transactions happen for various reasons, including capital gains.
Yeah.
We'll see how this quarter pans out. Because for real estate, Q1 and Q2 of financial years are not so great. All of us look forward to this quarter of Q4, which is very critical.
Okay.
And I hope the Q4 is good. Lot of issues were there in terms of approvals because of elections and a lot of change in the political scenario. Things were not moving as they should have moved.
Yeah.
Approvals were not happening as they should have happened. A lot of lull was there. So a lot of inventories could not move. So hopefully the approvals picks up. If the approval picks up, it will be really nice for us, especially on the environment side or CC side and all that.
Yeah.
There are a few challenges. I'm hopeful that quarter 4 will be good.
Okay.
For the developers.
Okay. Sir, tell me about your journey and how you started Justo. We really want to know that, and also I want to know your journey before Justo.
So I'm a qualified chartered accountant to start with. Let me tell you, I'm a commerce student. I did my science, then I moved to commerce because I liked business more. And after passing out my CA, I want to do some business. But somehow or other, for certain family reasons, I could not do business. I hail from a family where I'm the first person who has studied commerce. Mostly people are in the engineers or doctors or bureaucrats.
Yeah.
But I'm the first man who has done commerce. So everyone always has a big question mark as to what am I doing. So, family ka pressure, bada pressure hota hai. So I took up a job in 1992. Yeah. I took up a job, and I never liked to work with large organizations as a finance person because I was a little more creative in the sense I wanted a white canvas every time. which most of the finance guys and accounting guys don't get. They're bound by a lot of rules. I was also bound by a lot of rules, but I like to do things beyond what I was supposed to do. And my risk-taking ability was much higher.
Okay.
So I moved from industry to industry. I started as an investment banker, then as a stockbroker,
Okay.
and then moved to treasury for a large group. I did about 20 IPOs. Those days we used to call them public issues. And I set up on the first batch of brokers who were trained to handle the National Stock Exchange.
Okay.
And then I moved to, I didn't like broking as much, so I moved to a corporate treasury for a large group called SR, and I was involved in raising a lot of funds for them, and that is where I learned a lot about fundraising. That's where I learned a lot about accounting. And I then moved to Hazira Steel, as the steel plant was located in Hazira.
Yeah.
I stayed there for about 2.5 years. I worked in the accounting department. I was handling a lot of accounts, receivables, inventories, so on and so forth. I learned a lot of new concepts of accounting there, and then I came back to Bombay to work with Piramal Group in the office of the CFO, where I used to be monitoring businesses. So that gave me a macro view of how the businesses are run. SR, I learned a lot about accounting. I worked very closely with the corporate treasury and RERAs particularly, operating out of the 18th floor and then at the steel plant. And I was very fortunate that I got to work with the owners. When you work with the owners, you understand how they think,
Yeah.
what kind of decisions they take,
Okay.
how the impact of decision is on the organization. So always I was very lucky, I would say, nothing else, that I got to work with the owners, and that made me feel that instead of being just a finance guy, I should focus more on the business.
Yeah.
And I've realized that most of developers don't have good people, and good people make good decisions,
True.
and
Absolutely.
good decisions give you good profits.
True.
People are the key in this business. So that stuck me into way back in 2016, and then I was toying with the idea in 2019.
Yeah.
I decided to start Justo. It took a long time to plan. Industry was undergoing a lot of change. The developers did not know how to handle a few new animals that had come to the market. One was RERA.
Okay.
Okay. Very strong in governance. Second, demonetization was there.
Yeah.
They were reeling under a lot of pressure.
Exactly.
The GST rules were significantly strengthened and changed. Fourth, IBC, which they didn't know what was IBC all about. If the repayments are not made well
Yeah.
to the bank in time, and you face a situation of insolvency, they didn't understand the consequences of that. So I thought this was the right time to help developer take better decisions. So that's how we thought we will be a partner to the developer, more to share knowledge and be a knowledge partner to the developer. I never thought that I'll have 500 people like this today. I thought maybe 25-30 people we'll have, and then we'll support a lot of developers. But the business kept growing, and we got a lot of recommendations from developers to take new developers, and we started growing. That's where we are today.
That's a very great journey, sir, you had. One thing, sir, again I would like to ask. आपने सर एक चीज़ mention किया, when you were in Rustam ji, you had a great year at that time. and
Great phase, yeah. 5
great
years,
phase
yeah.
it was, 5 years, and you were serving as a CFO there. बहुत लोगों को ये चीज़ नहीं पता है कि when you joined उस टाइम पे रुस्तम जी was in debt, and after that 5 years,
Rustamji was in debt, and debt is good.
yeah,
And debt is good, let me tell you.
okay,
There's nothing wrong in being in debt. And debt is always cheaper than equity.
okay,
So, as long as the debt is utilized properly for the business, it's good.
yeah,
And controlled leverage is always better. But equity is the key in real estate,
okay,
because land buying is very important if it is not done from the debt. Because आपने लैंड परचेस कर लिया डेट लेके, अप्रूवल नहीं आया तो क्या होगा? बट इफ इक्विटी इज देयर, एटलीस्ट यू आर सेव्ड.
yeah.
You don't have a hanging sword top of your head.
I just wanted to know that journey कि what you did, या फिर ऐसा क्या जर्नी रहा उस बीच जो आपने उसको प्रॉफिटेबल की तरफ आपने उसको लेकर के आप उसको गए.
So I'll correct you by saying that
Yeah,
one person cannot do anything.
okay,
It's always a team of people.
yeah,
And second is opportunity. I got the opportunity from the owner to make a difference. That is why I could make a difference. I had able people with me, along with me, who helped me to make that difference.
yeah,
In fact, those days, it was a very interesting experience as far as Rustamji had gone through. They had raised a lot of debt, a lot of funds from a large private equity player, and the Lehman Brothers crisis was barely 2 years before that, where there were a lot of disputes as far as the ownership of the private equity ventures were there.
okay,
We worked very closely in exiting all the private equity players. There was a litigation that we fought with the private equity players, and this was one of the largest litigations ever fought in the history of real estate in India. And more than anything, we improved the overall way the business was getting conducted. There are 3 pillars of business.
okay,
I always say that one is counting, one is accounting, and one is accountability. Most of the real estate developers, then they're much better today, did not have proper counting. Because the counting was not right, the accounting was not right.
counting in the sense what?
Counting means having a proper MIS of the business.
Okay,
Where we stand today. I take up a project, I do a thumb rule working that I will be making this kind of money. But when you start really counting properly about the cost of every element of the business, okay, you will find the facts are something different than what I've ever thought.
okay,
So people sign up businesses assuming I will have 30-35% margin. But actually it is not that.
oh,
People do not land up counting the interest cost properly.
yeah,
People do not calculate the marketing spend properly. People do not monitor the cash flows properly. People do not calculate the interest cost during the construction period properly. All those things were missing in the business. You know, real estate is a business of opportunity. Lot of people have got into the business because they saw a brilliant opportunity. So their decision making process is also very opportunistic. It is not that I would like to create an institution. People don't think like that. People live their life from project to project. During that phase of Rustamji, we really worked very hard, and we raised a lot of funds. We improved the overall decision making process, the review process, the accounting processes, and our focus went significantly towards collection.
okay,
And all those things which were bringing the business down significantly changed. We put up a very strong mechanism of reviews and strong review mechanism enhances the ability to take better decisions.
Okay.
I'm not saying they were not existing, but it were significantly enhanced, and we matured over a period of time. Today the company is doing exceedingly well, and I'm very fortunate to say that I have made a small difference and I've been a part of it.
Yeah, that's a really great thing, sir. Three things, sir, you mentioned: accounting, and third was
Accountability.
accountability. So, what is that accountability?
Accountability is ownership of decisions.
Okay.
So, if you do not account for your expenses, actions, then you cannot take accountability of results.
Yeah.
So that is where there is a saying is if you decide who, 70% of the work gets done.
Okay.
In an organization, what happens is the accountabilities are not very strongly defined. The accountability is not strongly defined because the outcome is not strongly defined.
Okay.
The outcome is not very clear. Say for example, we have got into a meeting. The finance guy says last month collection was 100. Sales says no, the collection was 500.
Okay.
Okay. That is where the difference starts coming from. So then meetings are conducted to ensure the reconciliation between 500 and 100.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what I mean by accounting is that 100 or 500 is not accounted properly.
Exactly.
Before you come to the meeting, sales and finance primarily should agree to a particular number and then come to the meeting, so that the meeting can become much more fruitful.
Yeah.
And decisions can be much more better. What will you decide when the base numbers are different? So sales we say, yeah, I agree. Out of that 500, 300, we have received the check, but the check will be deposited after 7 days. But it has been collected, no.
Exactly.
Finance, as long as it is not deposited, I will take it as collection. So 500 suddenly becomes 200. Then he says, okay, out of this 200 that you have collected, 18% will go towards GST payment.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you reduce 36 out of that. Then the finance guy says, hello, 10% also has come, no, less because our income tax has been deducted, on TDS has been deducted. But the sales guy, so what? The developer has paid.
Exactly.
So these are the kind of things, that should be settled beforehand, before you come to a meeting. So it is very important that accountability of actions are established if the accounts are proper. So every organization should have these three pillars. I keep on saying this. If these three pillars are missing, it's very dangerous. It's basic hygiene.
Absolutely true, sir. Absolutely true. Because many people don't keep that track. Actually, what you said, what you mentioned, that counting, people don't have that track. Like, even though single penny is getting used, no one is having that track. They are just thinking about the big picture.
You're right. Absolutely correct. Every day there has to be a cash flow that is prepared.
Yeah.
Inflow and outflow. Every day it has to be prepared. A real estate is a business of cash flows.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're not having a full track of where the money is coming from and where the money is going, it's not going to be easy.
True, absolutely true, sir. Okay, sir, you are having just a great vision, like I must say. अभी सर जस्टो को लेकर फ्यूचर प्लान क्या है? व्हाट डू यू मतलब आने वाले कुछ सालों में, लेट्स से विद इन कमिंग 5 to 10 years, जस्टो को हम कहाँ देखने वाले हैं?
So 5-10 years in today's context is extremely long.
Okay.
There is a concept called QSQT.
Okay.
It's not Kamat se Kamat tak. It's called quarter se quarter tak.
Okay.
So we live quarter to quarter.
Quarter to quarter.
So we make a very firm plan every quarter.
Okay.
and we make a business plan for every year. Now, my next quarter planning is ready, but next year, if I may tell you, I am looking at growing my Mumbai business significantly more.
Okay.
Because this year we have entered Mumbai in certain territories and we have existed Mumbai in certain territories.
Okay.
Like MMR, Kalyan, Dombivli, we have exited.
Okay.
We have took a conscious call in exiting certain territories because we are finding it difficult to recover our money from a few developers who are not paying on time. And our business is all about investing on time.
So do you have any plan to become developer by self? Like,
No.
why? What's the reason?
See, I have 3 stakeholders in this business.
Okay.
One is the developer, first. Second is my employees. Third is my channel partners.
Okay.
Our job is to ensure that my business grows with the support of developer, not becoming a developer. There are developers who partnered with us. Our business model is about being a knowledge partner to a developer, not becoming a developer.
Okay.
Developer has a different set of skills which we don't possess. We should be good at what we know,
Yeah.
and everything you can't do. It's not possible for you to do everything. I may get into a little bit of business in terms of setting up my own creative agency, setting up my own digital agency,
Yeah.
setting up our own martech company. But all this is to serve the developer, not become a developer.
Yeah.
So we'll do everything within us to help the developer,
Okay.
not become a developer.
That's a very beautiful.
I'm very clear about where we
very
want
beautiful
to go.
vision that is, because you are clear with what you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
do. Many people think about the profit. They see the profit. Okay. Because see, in real estate only we see many people. ऐसे लोग होते हैं जो जॉब कर रहे होते हैं रियल एस्टेट में, 2 सेल्स 3 सेल्स हो गए, जॉब छोड़ दिया, खुद का स्टार्ट कर लिया एंड फिर फेल कर जाते हैं. सो that's very clear point कि what you are good at, do that.
There are at least 15 people
Okay.
who have left Justo
Uh-huh.
and have tried to set up their own businesses. I'm very happy if a person leaves and creates his own business.
Yeah.
I keep on telling my boys that, boss, I'll make you an entrepreneur. Not more than 2 or 3 have actually succeeded. There is, and 2 or 3 also struggling a lot.
Yeah.
It's not an easy business.
Exactly.
Mandate business is not an easy business.
True.
So it's tough.
What do you think? What is the reason कि एक डेवलपर का प्रोजेक्ट डिले होता है, वो डिलीवर करने में फेल होता है? What are the reasons जो लोगों को नहीं पता है, जो लोग नहीं समझते, जो डेवलपर के एंड से भी मतलब नेगेटिविटी होती है, डेवलपर के थ्रू भी डेवलपर भी एक प्रॉब्लम फेस करता है.
मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि डेवलपर डिले नहीं करता है, डेवलपर डिले करता है.
Yeah.
But you have to see that what is the reasons for the developers delay.
Yeah.
Is the delay because of developer, or developer is a victim for the delay?
Yeah. Exactly.
Many a times approvals becomes a big issue. So in Maharashtra, in Mumbai, we take approval till the CC. Plinth level तक approval लेते हैं.
Okay.
After that एक level के बाद हम higher floor का approval लेते हैं, because approval costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you take the entire approval initially, then the money gets stuck and the interest payments are very high. So it erodes your profitability completely. So the people do not take all the approvals in one go.
Yeah.
At times approvals get delayed significantly.
Okay.
For whatever reasons, approvals get delayed, which is much beyond the scope of a developer. Second, there are litigations that happen. Some litigations happen later on. There is a stop work notice issued. So all these things are also there, which actually delays the project.
सर मार्केट में ऐसे केसेस भी हमने देखा है कि जस्ट बिकॉज कि जो फंड का यूजेज होता है वो एक बिल्डर नहीं समझ पाता, या फिर क्या होता है कि इनिशियल डेज में वो ऑन मार्केटिंग, ऑन प्री लॉन्च वो इतना ज़्यादा स्पेंड कर देता है, एंड ऑल्सो वाइल हिज प्री लॉन्च they promise many things, and just due to wrong fund management, वो जो प्रोजेक्ट होता है बाद में डिले होता है. एंड इनफैक्ट अगर डिले नहीं भी होता है तो जो वो प्रॉमिस किया रहता है वो डिलीवर नहीं कर पाता है. सो इज दिस इज अ रियल प्रॉब्लम इन द मार्केट?
So there are two things.
ओके.
Spending money on launch, pre-launch varies from developer to developer. If you're a new developer and people don't know you, you have to spend on launch and pre-launch.
ओके.
Okay. But our guidelines of RERA are such that 70% of the money that comes in has to be parked. You cannot touch that money. It has to be utilized for construction only. And if you follow those guidelines properly, okay, then you will have absolutely no problem.
Okay.
And the money will get channelized towards construction, and it will also happen. But you get stuck, even then you get stuck, because you have sold, say about the building has 150, 200 units. You have done marketing.
Yeah.
You have sold only 30 units.
Yeah.
But you are not able to sell the rest of the units because your pricing is wrong, your sizing is wrong. Okay, then what happens? The project gets stalled.
Exactly.
All those 30 people who are booked are going to become jittery. So such kind of things do happen.
Yeah.
Then you can always go for a reduction of prices or change the design with the consultation of all the people who are there.
Yeah.
And then you can, there are ways and means for handling a situation of this kind also.
Okay. So don't you think, as you told, that if there is a new developer, then he needs to spend more for his marketing, for pre-launches. What if due to that more expenditure, if he goes in debt, or if he faces that problem of not delivering that project, and it's like it will be difficult for him to further continue his journey as a developer.
Okay, let me tell you.
Yeah.
How will you spend money in marketing other than your own money? Because the money that you collect from customer has to go to RERA.
Okay.
That is how RERA is built. It safeguards you. So that is not the reason for failure. As long as you adhere to the guidelines of RERA and park money for construction, that's not a problem at all. The problem is when you have a product which you are not able to sell. That is the problem.
True.
There is a negativity about the project.
Yeah.
Project is next to a cancer hospital, or it is next to a स्मशान भूमि उसके पास है.
हाँ.
तो आप कैसे करेंगे उसको? लोग आते हैं, देखते हैं स्मशान भूमि है, घर नहीं खरीदते.
एग्जैक्टली. सर, रेरा की बात हो ही रही है, तो रेरा में आपको एक्सटेंशन रेरा प्रोवाइड करता है. सर, डोंट यू थिंक कि बहुत सारे बिल्डर्स रेरा का उस एक्सटेंशन का गलत फ़ायदा उठाते हैं बाय टेकिंग दैट एंड डिलेइंग द प्रोजेक्ट?
रेरा तो एक्सटेंशन ओपनली सबको नहीं दे रहा है ना, बांट तो नहीं रहा है.
ओके.
एक ही बार आप एक्सटेंशन कर सकते हैं, दूसरा बार करने के लिए बहुत हालत ख़राब हो जाती है रेरा में.
ओके.
इतना आसान नहीं है एक्सटेंशन लाना. आपको जस्टिफाई करना पड़ता है क्यों एक्सटेंशन मांग रहे हैं. ऐसा क्या नहीं हुआ कि जो आप कर सकते थे आपने नहीं किया, वो भी पूछते हैं रेरा.
ओके. ओके. बिकॉज दिस इज़ द बिगेस्ट मिसकंसेप्शन बिटवीन पीपल, नॉर्मल पीपल. क्योंकि लोगों को लगता है कि भाई रेरा तो एक्सटेंशन देता है ना, बिल्डर हमें ऐसे फंसाएगा, ये रेरा का एक्सटेंशन ले लेगा. अभी
कितना बार हमने देखा है कि रेरा एक्सटेंशन दिया है? आप मेरे को बताइए.
वेरी रेयरली वी सी.
Very few projects have gone seeking for extension. कोविड हुआ, रेरा ने एक्सटेंशन दिया. वो बाकायदा जरूरी था, काम बंद हो गए थे.
एग्जैक्टली. ट्रू.
सो if it's logical, RERA always gives you an extension.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's not a cakewalk to go and get the extension from RERA.
Yeah, exactly, sir. Because you mentioned it very beautifully, the problems which builders face. क्योंकि बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि मार्केट में जैसे अभी कभी कभी हमारे रूल्स चेंज होते रहते हैं. रेरा भी बहुत सारे नए रूल्स इंट्रोड्यूस करते रहता है. अभी जैसे रिसेंटली रेरा ने रूल्स इंट्रोड्यूस किया मार्केट में कि जो भी हमारे ब्रोकर्स है या फिर चैनल पार्टनर्स है, दे नीड टू शो वट एवर ब्रोकरेज दे आर चार्जिंग फ्रॉम द बिल्डर, whatever percentage they are receiving from the builder after sales, they need to show that everything on that agreement. This is new law. So ऐसी नई चीज़ें आती रहती है मार्केट में,
which is good.
Yeah, which is good and
transparent.
Exactly, transparency.
कस्टमर को मालूम होना चाहिए कि मेरा पैसा ब्रोकर को जाता भी है.
Yeah, exactly.
और उसमें एक फायदा भी ये है कि एग्रीमेंट करने से डेवलपर को देना पड़ता है ब्रोकर को पैसा टाइमली.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
So
Exactly.
It's a good thing that has happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So तो वो जो एक मिसकंसेप्शन वाला जो चीज़ है सर, वो मिसकंसेप्शन अब मार्केट से कम होते जा रहा है. थोड़ा पहले से बहुत कम हो चुका है.
करेक्ट.
बिकॉज लोग ये समझते नहीं थे कि जो मटेरियल कॉस्ट है वो भी बढ़ता है, घटता है, जिसके कारण चैलेंजेस आता है एक बिल्डर को, एंड बिल्डर फिर डिलीवर करने में थोड़ा सा डिले हो जाता है चीज़ें. अगर सर कंज्यूमर की बात करते हैं, एक यूज़र, बायर, नॉर्मल कस्टमर, कुछ भी कह लीजिए, तो मार्केट में जब कोई प्रॉपर्टी परचेज करने की बात आती है तो एक बिलीफ है कि सक्सेस इज इक्वल टू योर ओन प्रॉपर्टी. इफ़ यू हैव योर ओन हाउस तो ही सक्सेसफुल हो आप. जिसके कारण क्या होता है कि लोग परचेज तो कर लेते हैं, बट आफ्टर दैट जो उनको डेब्ट्स आते हैं, उनको मतलब उनके ऊपर एक स्ट्रेस, लोन का स्ट्रेस, EMI पे करना है, खुद का लाइफस्टाइल भी उनको जीना है, वो जो स्ट्रेस आता है सर, व्हाट डू यू थिंक हाउ अ पर्सन कैन मैनेज दैट, एंड इज दिस स्ट्रेस इज गुड और इज दिस स्ट्रेस इज रियल और नॉट?
सो आपने मेरे को 5-6 क्वेश्चन एक साल पूछ लिए. फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट, रियल एस्टेट इज एन इमोशनल एसेट.
ओके.
हम सोचते हैं, ये हमारी सोच है, रियल एस्टेट इज अ रियल एसेट.
या.
इट इज नॉट एन अनरियल एसेट.
ओके.
इट्स अ रियल एसेट. It is not like money where you can't touch and feel.
Yeah.
Real estate, you can live, touch, feel and experience.
Exactly.
It gives a very different level of comfort.
Okay.
Second, anything that is scarce, like land,
Exactly.
which is finite,
Hmm.
price will eventually go up.
Exactly.
May not be immediately, but definitely.
Definitely.
Second. तीसरा, बात स्ट्रेस की है. I think you should not overstretch your budget.
Yeah.
You should not overstretch. If you are not able to buy a property, stay on rent.
Okay.
Feel that place, feel that locality.
Okay.
When you are comfortable in that locality, then you should go and buy it.
Okay.
Is what I feel. Third, real estate is expensive today in this country.
Yeah.
In fact, internationally, people spend about 20 to 25% of their income on real estate. In India, it goes up to as high as 60 to 70%.
Okay.
Because people feel owning a real estate is very critical and it gives us mental peace.
Yeah.
That's why I said it's a emotional asset. You can always take a real estate for 5 years lease. Who stops you? But people don't do. And the other way of looking at things is real estate owning is happening at just 8%, which is the lowest cost of interest ever in whatever borrowing you make in this country.
True.
There is nothing cheaper than this, other than the treasury bills issued by RBI.
Yeah. Absolutely true, sir.
Even if you go to the bank for any loan, you don't get a loan less than the rate of interest of housing.
Exactly.
And prices appreciate at least 5 to 7% every year. So a mental peace at 8%, where 5-7% capital appreciation you are getting,
Yeah.
is actually worthwhile. At least you will keep on getting 6 to 7% and the value will appreciate. Yes, liquidity is an issue.
Okay.
You can liquidate your fixed deposit immediately, but this takes time for liquidation.
Absolutely true.
That's the only difference.
Okay, okay. So you mentioned that if you can't afford, then you should stay on rent,
Yeah.
and you should first you should feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you should go for purchasing that property. On social media, we see there is a trend going on. जितने भी सर इन्फ्लुएंसर्स है, फाइनेंशियल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स, उनका एक चीज़ कहना होता है, बाइंग अ प्रॉपर्टी इज नॉट गुड, रेंटिंग इज द बेस्ट थिंग.
Okay.
So what do you think, sir? Are we creating our
That's a
generation?
view.
Yeah.
That's a view, because if you have your monies, surplus monies, parked
Yeah.
in a business or invest where you can get more than 8 to 10%
Mm-hmm.
as capital appreciation on your money,
Okay.
you should stay on rent,
Okay.
because rent is available at 3% to 4%. So why put your money on something where the return is not more than 6 to 7%? Use that money maybe in investing in mutual funds, but it varies from person to person. I told you, real estate is emotional asset.
So फिर एक कॉमन क्वेश्चन हर किसी के दिमाग में जो चलता है कि वेयर डू वी सी रियल एस्टेट मार्केट इन कमिंग 5 to 10 years, like by 2030 or 2035?
First of all, let me tell you,
Yeah.
again, I have said some time back, real estate is a very wide connotation which involves a lot of asset classes.
Yeah.
Homes is the biggest asset class.
Okay. Okay, so coming to the scam part, like in real estate, as we see, there are multiple scams happened in past. Like there is a famous scam which was happened in Mumbai only. That was Adarsh Housing Society scam. Do you know, sir, about it, and what was? Can you tell something about it?
So, Others is a real estate scam.
Yeah.
Others is portrayed as a real estate scam.
Okay.
For a real estate scam to happen, there has to be a developer. Who was the developer in Others scam?
Still unknown.
Had there been a developer, this scam would have not happened. So first of all, Others is not a real estate scam because there was no developer involved.
Mm-hmm.
First of all. And for anything, you should know what you're good at. If I'm good at selling,
Yeah.
if I'm good at as a knowledge provider to the real estate,
Yeah.
I should stick to that.
Exactly.
When I start looking at the other person is making profits,
Yeah.
which is a presumption that I make, and I step into the other person's shoes, and I don't know what I have to do,
Mm-hmm.
and if I do a wrong thing, it becomes a scam.
Yeah.
I limit myself to say only that much, nothing beyond that.
Okay.
There was no developer who was involved.
Yeah.
It was a society of very senior and influential people,
Yeah.
and this issue happened.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Sir, there is a discrimination which we see in market. I don't know how much it's correct, but I have heard this from a builder only, a developer only. He told that let's say there is a builder who is creating two different projects on two different locations. One project he is creating, it's like totally for affordable market, like affordable housing. Let's say he is quoting 50 lakh, 40 lakh rupees for 2 BHK. And on the other hand, same developer is creating a luxurious project, which is like in which he is quoting 1 CR or 2 CR for 2-3 BHK. So what happens in market is, let's say the buyer of that affordable house will be obviously second middle class people, we can say, who want to purchase. So they will just go for that affordable market. Obviously some goes for this luxurious also, but most of them goes for this affordable market. And that big pocket buyers or big pocket customers goes for this luxurious market. So what happens is a builder focuses more on that luxurious part because profit margin is more there, and due to which he delays the affordable project of his, due to which we see a discrimination that if you have a big pocket, then you will get that project delivered luxurious way, you will get that project delivered on time, and if the project is small or project is having less budget, then like delay, we see delays. So what kind of like is this is happening in market or not?
See, all these things were happening. These are all very exceptional cases. First of all, a luxury and an affordable project cannot be next to each other.
Exactly.
A location premium is also there. A luxurious person who's buying a luxurious product will not buy a product which is, he will not buy a product which is a luxury product next to an affordable product. That is the first thing. Second, affordability is a function of, I think you are referring to PMAY schemes.
Yeah.
Where the values are much lesser.
Exactly.
The profits are very low in those projects.
True.
Okay. You require money to complete those projects. The money will only come from the luxurious projects.
Absolutely.
The question about delay is not right in my view, because in any case both are covered under RERA. So if the luxurious project is covered under RERA, the other project is also covered under RERA.
Yeah.
It makes sense for the developer to realize more monies out of the luxurious project and deploy them in the affordable project if they are next to each other, because luxurious project, the cost of construction is not significantly different.
Exactly.
It is mainly the land cost. Okay. So whatever surpluses he generates because of higher premium, he is doing a right thing by deploying them in the affordable house.
Okay.
And seeing to it that the completion of affordable house is at least on time.
Okay.
He has to stick to RERA guidelines. He has no option. So, the people who have bought the affordable house at the same time who have bought the luxurious house may feel that luxurious house is working, the construction is going up faster or finishing is going up faster. But please understand, the real estate is a cash flow business.
Okay.
In a cash flow business, you have to realize the cash flow from this business, this building, and bring the money to the other part, because affordable really doesn't have significant amount of profits. If if the developer constructs the affordable building faster, he will not have surplus to finish this building.
Absolutely.
If he finishes this building faster, he will have money to finish this building also faster.
Exactly.
But the reverse won't happen.
So you have worked with multiple big players in market, and also you are currently working with multiple developers also. You know rules of RERAs, you know laws, you know as you are CA, so you know all the financial stuffs also. Let's say in your hand, if you get you get opportunity to either eliminate or add some rules in RERA or real estate market, what will be there?
I want to eliminate and add some rules to RERA specifically.
RERA, or we can say real estate market.
See, I think RERA is quite exhaustive. Very, very exhaustive. I think the entire process of decision making RERA or under RERA has to improve a little bit.
Okay.
I would put a stipulation that RERA should give approval within how many days?
Okay.
First.
There should be timeline.
Second, I will make the penalties to developers much more stiffer if they are not adhering to the guidelines. And the implementation of RERA guidelines also. I should ensure that I have a mechanism to ensure the RERA implementations are taken care of more aggressively. The overall governance part has to be control and governance both has to improve by RERA significantly.
Okay.
As RERA, if I'm trying to control developers, I should also have a responsibility of reverting on time.
Okay.
Or giving approvals on time. Or not asking questions again and again, similar kind of questions to developers and delaying the process of giving approval under RERA. So these are small areas where I think I would like to make a few changes.
Okay.
Coming back to the real estate industry, to a large extent, whether you like it or not, the kind of assets banks are getting as security from real estate is the best in the industry for any advances they do. Just imagine a bank advancing loan to a manufacturing unit to buy plant and machinery versus giving loan to a developer for constructing houses. What is the resale value of plant and machinery if business goes wrong? Versus what is the resale value of the house if the project gets delayed? Which is a better asset?
Obviously,
real estate.
Real estate.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the banks don't consider that. And a real estate asset is repaid in less than 4 years. The entire loan turns around in 4 years.
Yeah.
And if you go by history, you will see the loan is replaced in about 2 years. So the banks are in a position to recover their money in 2 years' time.
Yeah.
Which is not the case in case of manufacturing companies. There are much longer duration loans.
Yeah, exactly.
So banks have to lend to real estate. Why can't it be much better?
Absolutely.
I think a lot of work needs to be done in giving advances to the real estate industry per se.
If we are talking about work, then what do you think what government is doing right now for for real estate market, or we can say for development of India right now?
Government is doing a lot of things, but there are a lot of curb on the real estate funding, because of which a lot of bank finance is not coming to real estate. In fact, there is a clampdown on a lot of NBFCs who have advanced to the real estate industry also. Yes, I know a lot of decisions were not right by the NBFCs in giving this money in the shape and form to which it has given. It has put a lot of pressure in the banking system. But, there has to be checks and balances every time.
Okay.
You just can't sit down and discover after 2 years or 3 years. Why can't there be a process by which you scrutinize things beforehand, well in advance, and then give the loans?
Okay.
So I think that is one thing I would request.
Yeah.
I feel it should happen.
Okay. Sir, coming to our last question of this podcast, although it's like we can keep on talking on multiple points, multiple questions are there, but still time is limited. One last question I would like to ask you, as you started your journey, your career as a CA, okay, now you are an entrepreneur, but you have that CA mindset, which always fuels your business, always fuels the market. So if I talk about a consumer, a buyer, as you could, a point was there in which we were discussing that in a person's point comes where he falls in debts, and after that he start feeling that stress and everything. So let's say if we would like to ask you that as a CA and as a business owner and as a strategist, what will be those 5 suggestions which you would like to give to all the people out there related to their finances, related
consumers
to
or developers?
First tell me about consumers, then I will come on developers, sir.
Real estate offers you the lowest cost of financing any asset.
Okay.
Don't invest in a residential property for the sake of investments. It's not, unless you are compelled to invest because of capital gains tax.
Okay.
Don't compromise the quality of construction
Okay.
of a developer. It hits you very hard later on. The maintenance cost will go up significantly. Go for a developer who gives you very, very good construction. Try to repay your loan as soon as you can.
Okay.
The increments that you get every year,
Yeah.
you allocate those increments to repayment of loans than to your lifestyle.
Okay.
This will bring down your loan by 5 to 7 years. Real estate buying is an emotional buying.
Yeah.
Taking a financial decision keep your emotions at bay. Be more prudent while you are taking a decision about buying a house in whatever ways you can. Go with a developer who has delivered homes on time.
Okay.
There are 3 risks when you buy a property. One is a financial risk, one is the approval risk, third is a construction risk.
Okay.
Buy properties which do not have approval risk. Ensure that developer has got proper financial closure approved by banks who are funding the project. So there is no financial risk.
Yeah.
And construction risk, please exercise caution, beware, understand what is happening as far as construction is concerned, what is promised as far as construction is concerned, and check the projects that he has delivered in the past and then take a wise decision.
It was a really very great and insightful talk with you, sir. Like, I really learned a lot from you today. Many things were there which was new for me to understand, to digest, and we can say, yeah, it was like very, very insightful talk. Thank you so much, sir, for coming on our channel on TRPS, Trending Real Estate Property Show. We really love Justo. We love you, sir.
Thank you.
And I just
All the
wish-
best to you.
Thank you so much, sir. And I wish once again we will do another episode of this podcast, because there are multiple things, multiple changes coming in this industry, multiple things, multiple changes coming in Justo. So we would love to share that with our audience, and we would love to meet again, sir.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you very much. Bye.